Well, it's now time for our Prep Spotlight presented by Capital Sports Fieldhouse, home of Hit and Pitch. We're going to be chatting here with Clint Galvas, the head football coach at New Lothrop. 4-0 on the season. No surprise there. 2-0 in the MMAC. Clint definitely putting together a Hall of Fame career already, 138-19. And it looks like you have another good squad this year, Clint. Give us a little breakdown of the pros and cons, if there are any cons at this point. You started off the year with a great win against Jackson Lumen Christi. You beat a pretty good Chesapeake team on their field, and you're rolling, like I said, 4-0.
Yeah, I guess kind of coming into the season, we knew we were going to be a pretty solid team. Obviously, last year we only had 5 seniors, so we knew we were going to be obviously returning a lot of guys this year, and just a lot of experience. I think last year a lot of these guys maybe wouldn't have got some of the maybe all that playing time they would that they might have had on if they were part of some other teams. But with only having 5 seniors, they're kind of forced into some key roles and playing a lot last year. And obviously I think this year kind of paying dividends for us. And I think returning 4 or 5 offensive linemen this year is a big deal. And, kind of the same on the defensive line side, bringing 3 or 4 back. And so, and obviously, as you guys know, being big football guys, it all kind of starts up front. And, I think that's kind of our strong point is our offensive defensive line. So I think anytime you got a strong offensive defensive line, you're gonna have some success. It's kind of what we've been able to hang our hat on this year. And obviously also anytime you got a quarterback that's returning, that's a big deal. And with Jack Ohanic this year back as a junior, he got all those reps last year as a sophomore and did pretty darn good job as a sophomore too. But just having a whole year with our system and our terminology and the reads, I think probably I would say 80% of what we do is some kind of read, and he's just getting kind of better and better at those, making all those reads. Again, that's kind of led to a lot of our success. And then, like you said, the big week 1 win against Lumen Christi, it was a real battle back and forth, and just a real fun game to be a part of. But to come out on top of that, I think really gave our guys a lot of confidence kind of moving forwards. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. Can you talk about, you kind of talked about, you were alluding to it a little bit, the value of all these young guys getting all those reps last year. But I guess maybe expound on that a little bit, that like how valuable that actually is. Last year, at least to your guys' standards, maybe a little bit of a down season for you guys. But when you're going through that season, knowing you've got sophomore at quarterback, a ton of juniors. Yeah. Are you kind of looking ahead to the next season thinking like, okay, maybe this isn't going to be a state championship run, but we're building something for next year and even the year after?
No, I wouldn't say like last year I was looking, like, hey, you're just kind of all in at that time, right?
Yeah,
I mean, how I'm all in for 2021. I was all in for 2021. And, we did a lot of good things. I mean, you look at our, who we played, right? But to go back to your point, a lot of these young guys were getting a lot of reps against, Lumen Christi's, against, Frankenmuth, who we were in a game, right there, basically in a game to the end with Frankenmuth. And then, and they're seeing those P-dubs and things like that. So it's all just paying off now, obviously dividends. At the time, I wasn't looking at it like that as much, you want to win those games, right? But now, looking back, like it's definitely, you can tell these guys have been in some battles and they've seen those kind of athletes and those kind of programs. And, so I mean, it's like I said, it's been real big for us. And then, like I said, with only 5 seniors, a lot of them kids were forced in that position.
Yeah.
Whereas, I can honestly say in many of the years past prior to that, them same kids probably wouldn't have been on the field that much. You know what I mean? And, so in that sense, it's worked out for us here in 2022, because of our lower numbers, as far as our senior class last year. But like I said, we're definitely excited where we're at right now, and the experience we had coming in, we knew was going to be beneficial for us. And it definitely has been, without question.
You mentioned your junior quarterback, Kohanic. I mean, you guys are kind of like quarterback at New Lothrop, I feel like. I mean, you had Avery Moore, who could really sling it. You had Cam Moore a few years ago, was a really good, downhill runner. What do you think? Why is it you guys have had so many good quarterbacks throughout your tenure at New Lothrop? Is it your system? Is it you've kind of changed it to different quarterbacks? What is it?
Yeah, we do change it a little bit. Obviously, with Cam and Avery, we were a little bit more maybe run heavy on different things. I mean, when you got 220-pound quarterbacks,
Right.
Get downhill, that helps. But Jack's a great mix of both. I mean, he's got a real nice, strong arm, and when he wants to the tuck and run, he's shockingly like pretty
Right.
and pretty powerful runner, to be honest. So, we're able to incorporate a lot of those things we did with Cam and Avery with Jack.
Right.
And, but no, Jack. I mean, I think all of them guys. I mean, you can go back before before them with Eric Birchmeyer and all these guys that were just stellar quarterbacks. They just put in a lot of time, and it's not just they show up in August and all of a sudden we're hitting on all cylinders. I mean, we're talking, in March, they're before school in the mornings running through stuff and they do a lot of film work and so I guess it's a high demanding position as far as the time that goes in and the film study that goes in and every quarterback we've had that I've been blessed to have has been willing to put in that time, and that's what's kind of showed on the field, I guess.
You talked about the big boys up front, and obviously they're doing the job, and that's key in winning football games, both offensively and defensively. And you talked about your quarterback, but New Lothrop always has been known for their running backs too, speed, tackle breaking ability, and Nolan Mulcahy is another good one.
So yeah, no, Nolan Mulcahy, he's a speed guy, right? And I'd also like to mention that. I mean, as far as all these guys, every one of our backs. I mean, Jack, Nolan, Kevin, Unix, Nick Barnett, Hayden Andrus, Dominic Cass. I mean, all these guys ran track this year. And the reason they did it is because, as you guys probably remember, Amari Coleman, obviously, he was our head track coach this year, and obviously a big speed guy, and is real great with speed development. And all these guys ran track just to kind of improve their speed. And Nolan Mulcahy was, one of those guys, and he was always a fast guy, but just having that whole, track season with Amari, all them guys have gone to another level speed wise. And, I will put our speed against anyone in Division 7 for sure. So, and Nolan's just one of them guys when he gets in the open field, he's going to be tough to catch. And that's, kind of been what it's been for us so far. And, Nick Barnett, the same thing, we throw a 2-yard dump pass out to him and he turns and takes it to the house just because of his speed. So all these guys, including Jack, is night and day speed wise from where I was last year. And that's a testament to Mari and all the work these kids have put in with him. And, so that's been a huge thing for us this year is our speed.
Do you think that's something that sets a good program apart from a great program like you guys? You mentioned your quarterbacks putting in work back in March. You've got players running track so they can improve their speed. Yep. There's a lot of programs that have good players, but you think that kind of stuff is what takes you from being a good program to being a great program?
Without question. And it's like, it's like every year it's more and more, right? You're just trying to keep up with everyone else because everyone else is putting in work too. So it's like, well, now we got to do more, and so that's kind of what it is. We are just kind of every year just trying to take it to the next level. And, we run a 10-week program in the spring that we start in March, and it basically takes us to almost the end of the school year. And, of that, we run it basically our incoming freshmen up to our incoming seniors. And, we had like just a great participation this year. And I would say we had over 90% of our seniors, graduated from this program. And, again, just to kind of show you the work that they were willing to put in. And, it's been huge. I mean, all those little things, the off season, we've incorporated, we now got a new weight training class at school, almost every football player in there. So we're able to get our workouts in, during school, and all the little things like that is just huge. Cause now instead of after school, we spend, 40 minutes in the weight room. Well, now we can all get right out after school. That's just extra time on the field for us, and, so it's just, it's little things like that I think has really kind of just put us to, it's helped us out a lot. I'll say that.
That's crazy. You guys didn't have a weightlifting class. I mean, I feel like maybe back when Matt was in school, even at Corona, we had a weightlifting class, during the day. So
and I did. And these guys were our gym rats and did work out. It just cost us time, right? Like we would have to lift, either it was open before school, so I'd have guys come before school, or we'd have that 40-minute allotted time after school for the guys who didn't get it in to get it in, to get their in-season workout in. And now, we're able to do that. So, and again, I had that, 14, whatever, how many years ago I started at New Lothrop. We had that, and then it just, it's like anything. It just became a scheduling thing, and it's a lot easier to kind of make it a PE class and put everything, you know what I mean? And so it was something I've been fighting for since then, and finally got that back, and it's already paying dividends for us as far as just getting a lot of that work done, and like getting right out after school and spending more time out on the field, which is what we want to do.
Well, Clint, we appreciate you taking the time, fighting the darkness, and joining us here.
I apologize about that. I thought I'd have a little better service, but
but we do appreciate the time, and we'll be definitely looking at New Lothrop to make a solid run when we get to playoff time. But again, congratulations on your successes. It comes because of all the hard work by you, your staff, and the players, and we appreciate you taking time out from your schedule to join us here.
No, absolutely, guys, and we'll have to do this again when let us lighter out. There you go.
Yep.